Welcome back to Hour 2 of Gun Sports Radio, where your hosts Dave Stahl, Lance Pelkey, and Michael Schwartz educate you on anything and everything related to our Second Amendment right. Visit gunsportsradio.com with your questions and comments, or to learn how to become a sponsor and or guest of the show. Now here comes Hour 2 of Gun Sports Radio and your hosts Dave, Lance, and Michael.
All right, folks, welcome back to the second hour of Gun Sports Radio. This hour is brought to you by our good friends at Cali Key. Drop in a Cali Key into any AR-15 or AR-10 to instantly make it California compliant. For more information, check out Cali Key at calikey.com, KALIKEY.com. Look for our shows on your website, favorite podcast platform as well. It's real easy. Go to gunsportsradio.com. That's gunsportsradio.com. Self-defense and emergencies can happen to anyone, and unfortunately, the justice system may not be on your side. While you protect your family and property, U.S. Law Shield is here to defend you 24/7, 365 days a year, with a comprehensive self-defense coverage at an affordable price. You know, bad guys don't take days off, and neither does U.S. Law Shield. What's your plan after you defend yourself or your family? Consider a plan from U.S. Law Shield. Check them out today at uslawshield.com. That's uslawshield.com. All right, this segment is brought to you by the San Diego County Gun Owners, www.sdcgo.org. You need to join up, and it'll be the best thing you ever did, and the most beneficial $10 spent per month ever. This segment is The Blogger with Joe Drammissi. Hey, Joe, what do you got today?
Hey, well,
cowboy boots?
No cowboy boots. Just back here making radio great again, you know?
Absolutely.
But I've got the blog article this week. So what I wrote about was shall not be infringed. And actually, I wrote about the infringed part, but had to go in with the whole phrase. Might as well go with it. But this came about in a recent article I wrote. Somebody commented on there, and they took the definition for infringed, which I have to say I never really actually looked up that word. I just always assumed I knew what that meant. But when I looked it up, if you look in the Merriam-Webster is the definition that I used, but it says to encroach upon in a way that violates the law or the rights of another, which is exactly how it's used in the Second Amendment. And I was looking at it, and the question is, do governments, are we infringing all over the place? And we all know the answer to that. But just to take a look at that, because if we have, we're a country of laws, and we have a Constitution, and the Constitution, like if you look at the Second Amendment, that doesn't give us the right to keep and bear arms. It essentially, protects that right, and it protects us from the government, taking away that right. And if you look at in California, for instance, like the different laws, if we look at, say, the handgun roster, we talked about that a little bit earlier, not being able to buy handguns that are in common use all around the country, the law prohibiting 18 to 20-year-olds or 20-year-olds, I guess, from purchasing handguns. The open carry, I guess, is illegal in California, and a lot of Californians can't get a concealed carry permit. So, we fortunately don't have that problem anymore in San Diego County, but people in LA and near San Francisco and stuff have that issue. And just the mischaracterization of a modern American sporting rifle, the most the most popular platform in the country, and you mischaracterize that as a weapon of war, and now you heavily restrict it. I would say all that stuff is infringing on the rights, really, of Americans. And we work on this kind of stuff, and we do a lot here. Talking about getting the right people elected, and trying to ensure that we don't have these kinds of laws anymore. And we have three branches of government, I think, for a reason. And, I think it's time for the Supreme Court and these people to step in and say, the Constitution, we either have one or we don't. And all of the rights that are, preserved in the Constitution, should be I don't know, enforced, but paid attention to. If we're going to write laws in this country, they can't be contrary to things that are in the Constitution. And especially with the Second Amendment stuff. But this is true for all the things in the Constitution. But for our Second Amendment, with all these different states, and to be fair, most of the country is okay with the Second Amendment. But there are, we live in one of the worst states that way, and there's probably 6 or 7 others that are bad like that. But you can't, when you write laws that make it excessively difficult for someone to purchase a firearm or to purchase ammunition, or for a business that's, in a firearms related type business to stay in business because they're excessively regulated and taxed. Those are all forms of infringement, because if you look at some of these laws, they don't really accomplish anything. I mean, if you want to fairly look at these laws and, not be emotional about it or not be biased about it, what you have to ask, what do they accomplish? Do they make us safer? Do they reduce crime or impede criminals? And the answer really, if you want to be objective about it, is no, they don't. So what, the other possibility then is it's intentional infringement. They're there to discourage you from owning firearms. Yeah. So that's what we wrote about anyway this week.
And I hear a lot of people think, well, I'm not going to comply and I'm just not going to commit a crime and everything will be fine. I can't tell you how many times I hear from people. Just this last week, a conversation came to mind. A guy called and said, hey, I'm not sure what to do, but he needed an attorney because they'd changed the laws on ARs. He still had his bullet button, didn't know. If you're not in our world.
No, that's exactly right.
You don't hear these when they move the goalpost. You don't know about it.
See, and that's another reason why I'm saying, and I hate to depend on the courts and everything to fix this stuff, but it's gone on for a while now, and they really do have to stand up and say you just can't do this kind of stuff for exactly that. That reason is because you can get in trouble and not even know it. I mean, with the magazine ban and the magazines that we have out here. Okay, for a week, it became legal for me to buy a standard capacity magazine. Okay, great. So now I have some. And I have my legal AR style rifle. I have my legally purchased and owned 30-round magazine. But if I put the two together, I'm now committing a crime. I could run my 10-round magazines in the AR platform that I have, and that's fine. 30-round, no, that's a crime.
Well, because if we let you put that 30-rounder in, Joe, you'd immediately run out and rob a 7-Eleven. I just know it. So that's
it's just no ludicrous. Twinkie safe.
It's just ludicrous. And that, by the way, what you just said is the entire basis for our lawsuit that every San Diego County gun owners member is a part of against the assault weapons ban, which is in effect a gun. It's a gun ban. Call it what it is. It's a gun ban.
Exactly. And people do have to fight, and I'm glad we do what we do, and I'm glad people are joining us to do this, and we have to keep the pressure on too. But at some point, I think the court has to stand up and say, hey, we just can't do this.
Well, they definitely should. You posted the article that you're referring to here on our Facebook page, San Diego County Gun Owners Facebook page. The first comment, I don't know if you read it, by Jim Dodd.
Yeah, I saw that.
So I don't know if you know Jim. He's a friend of mine. He's a really good guy. He was a plaintiff in the Peruta case when they sued for the concealed carry, and that was a case that should have gone to the Supreme Court, and they should have affirmed that yes, you don't have to have some silly good cause to have a CCW. It's a right, but unfortunately, the Ninth Circuit Court said, hey, you don't have a constitutionally protected right to concealed carry, which is absolutely ridiculous. But I thought that was extremely appropriate that he was the first comment, because he's with you, and we're all with you. But I mean, he knows firsthand, what's going on.
Yeah. I saw Jim's comment. I haven't met Jim yet. I hear he has a great haircut, but but I haven't met him yet.
The three of us should all go get our haircut together.
Yeah, a little inside joke there. We all seem to go to the same place and the same hair cutter. But yeah, and that's another good example of that. And and aside from, I was saying these things don't make us any safer. They actually, I think, make us less safe, because like with my AR, for instance, I have to modify it to be compliant in California, which I've done. And the device that I use to modify it is great, and I like it, but it worked itself loose to where the magazine was just dropping out. And I kind of had an idea what it was, but I had to take it in. Actually, I took it to A.O. Sword there, and one of the guys showed me which 2 screws to adjust and how to do that. But anyway, great article this week. A lot of attention already on the Facebook site. A whole bunch of likes and a bunch of comments and things in the first few hours. So check it out.
Nobody's chasing you down yet?
Not yet, but I'm here.
All right, folks, make sure you go to San Diego County Gun Owners, or just go to sdcgo.org, look up the blogger, and trust me, you will be educated. Right here on FM 96.1, AM 1170.
The Answer.
Folks, hey, welcome back. You are listening to Gun Sports Radio, FM 96.1, AM 1170.
The Answer.
All right, folks. Hey, California's assault weapon laws makes it almost impossible to own an AR pattern rifle. What's the solution? Cali Key. It'll convert any mil-spec direct impingement AR platform rifle into a straight pull bolt action rifle, so it can have all the features without being considered an assault weapon. It's a true drop-in solution. No milling, no aesthetic modifications, and no turning off your gas system. Keep your entire AR collection intact at a price you can afford with Cali Key. Check out Cali Key at calikey.com. That's K-A-L-I-K-E-Y. K-A-L-I-K-E-Y.com. All right.
If for no other reason, buy a Cali Key, because Ascanio is a fun name to say.
Yes, that is a fun name.
Yeah. He's the guy that came up with the Cali Key. He does a fantastic job. Huge supporter. I can't tell you, I don't know anybody that's working harder to put himself out of business than Ascanio. He really wishes we didn't have to deal with these stupid laws, but in the meantime, he's got a solution.
Yes, he does. And it's an easy solution.
Yeah.
All right. So what do we want to chat about?
Well, so we were just talking about, hey, what does this all go towards? The dinner and the fundraising and the membership dues and all that stuff. One thing I want people to be aware of is about a year and a half ago, Orange County folks heard what a great job we're doing in San Diego and started Orange County Gun Owners.
Yeah.
And about 6-8 months ago, some folks in Riverside heard about what a great job we're doing, and they started Riverside County Gun Owners. And just about 2 months ago, and we had him on to talk about it. We had Lauren Campbell come on and talk about it. He started San Bernardino County Gun Owners. And it's, we're helping this whole thing happen, and we're making sure that they have the resources, they have the infrastructure. And
Are we making anybody nervous in Sacramento?
I think we're making a lot of people nervous. I'm seeing attempts. How should I phrase this?
I'm politically correct.
Well, I'm seeing the other side, for lack of a better term, the anti-gun folks, the gun grabbers, attempting to match the amount of work that we do, and frankly, not doing a good job of it.
Right.
We're far better organized. We're far more professional. We have a far better plan. The only thing that's missing is you. Not you, Dave, but you,
I know
the
what
listener.
you mean. Yeah, the general public. Because you can't sit at home and listen to this show.
No one's going to do it for you.
And say, "Hey, those guys are doing a great job, boy. Rock on." No. No, it's just like when you built the pyramids, one person couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Everybody had to do it.
But Orange County, we're doing a How to Be a Second Amendment Activist seminar up there. It's a 4-part series, hour and a half each at their monthly meetings. And the first session was last month, and the second session is on the 27th at JT Schmidt up in Anaheim, if you know anybody in Orange County, if you're listening in Orange County. And Riverside and San Bernardino decided that was such a good idea that they're going to do it all in one shot on one day at April 18th. And it's a seminar that teaches, for years as an activist, I was told, hey, send more emails, make more phone calls. There's a horrible gun bill coming up. Light up the phones in Sacramento and send emails and print out the email and mail the email. Oh my God, there's got to be something else. There's got to be something more effective. Mm-hmm. So we put together about a 6-hour curriculum that shows you how to be effective, how to be an effective activist. All the way from, things to do, actual arrows to put in your quiver, things that you do as an activist, and what does work and what doesn't work. And we have case studies to show you how things have worked and why certain things don't work and what is activism.
And I think that's a good idea because all the people that want to help don't know what to do.
Yeah.
The only thing they think of, well, I just got to throw money at a politician.
Yep.
And that's not necessarily everything.
Right. I mean, it's an important part, making sure that you're the you want the politician that you're supporting to outspend the other guy, 10 to 1.
But I think they should.
It's not the only thing. There's a lot of things you can do.
And they should do it without my money.
Without your money?
Well, if you're going to run for office, what are you borrowing the money from me for? You're not very well prepared.
Well, because it takes that, if you look at, for example, there are 9 city council members in San Diego, the city of San Diego. Right. There's 1.5 million people, 1.6 million people in the city, something like that.
Yeah.
So you divide that out. I mean, you're looking at 100,000 plus voters in each district.
Yeah.
You got to get your message. How else are you going to get your message? And the problem is, if everybody did what they're supposed to do, if everybody did, said, hey, you know what? I'm going to research. I'm going to find out where these folks are talking. I'm going to go talk to them. I'm going to find out about them. But they don't. People just don't do that. So it's up to the candidate to get his message or her message to the public, and that it takes
the only
a lot
thing,
of
the only
money.
reason I bring this up because I'm being inundated, and it's got to the point where, oh, well, I'm really bummed. You didn't respond. I don't know if I'm going to be able to. No. I don't want to hear your crybaby story. I really don't. If you present to me why you need a donation, I'll do it. And one of them sent me an email. And one of them used you.
Yeah.
I got that email, by the way.
I get used a lot, Dave.
I know. And I'm thinking, wait,
not in a good way either.
No.
So, sometimes.
Yeah,
but,
sometimes.
So there's a couple of things. First off, if you've never heard of a candidate, don't vote for him.
Exactly.
Second, if you can't verify that a candidate has been endorsed by some gun organization,
then
don't vote for him.
Yeah.
Or her, anybody.
It's not hard to do research today.
It's not, but it's also, so let me give you, something just happened up in San Bernardino. We reached out to him and said, hey, here's our questionnaire. We don't want to sit down and talk to you, whatever. So he submitted his questionnaire and we had some conversations with him.
Was he a politician?
Running for office, running for local office. And the first couple of statements were, I'm pro-Second Amendment and big constitutionalist. It's very important to me, blah, blah, blah. Well, that sounds great. Hey, I was a Marine, no longer, in the Marine Corps, but it's extremely important. Everybody, okay, well, this is going to be great. Every other answer. And he was fairly pro-CCW, but he was all for magazine bans. He was all for the assault weapons ban. He was all for the pistol ban. And, when you start digging down, that's an organization like ours. We find that out and go, whoa.
That's not somebody you want.
This is a wolf in sheep's clothing. This is somebody. Now, imagine if you're at, this guy goes and talks to the VFW, and 150 VFW guys are going, hey, cool. He's a Marine. I'm a Marine. He says he loves the Constitution, says he loves the Second Amendment. I'm voting for him. Mm-hmm. And he gets into office, and what happens?
He does exactly what he said he would do.
Yeah, right. Meanwhile, he's going, hey, I don't think this stuff. I don't think an assault weapons ban violates the Second Amendment.
I've noticed a lot of military people are for these bans.
I don't know about a lot, but it's a higher percentage of police and military than should be.
Yeah, I don't understand it.
Yeah, I don't understand
well, again,
it either.
Part of that too, though, is we make the assumption that they're military or they're law enforcement, so they know a lot about guns and gun policy and stuff. And and I found when we were doing the sheriff's thing with Dave Myers, and I was talking to him, that here's a career law enforcement guy that was pretty far up there, and there was a lot of stuff he just wasn't aware of.
Right.
And it's unless they're gun guys, because when you talk to law enforcement, a lot of law enforcement people, for instance, look at the gun as, okay, it's another tool on my belt. I need to qualify, with it, and I need to use it, but I'm not a gun guy. I don't go out of my way to learn it and have fun with it and do all this stuff with it. And, when you're in that situation, you don't get aware of the stuff. The other thing, at least in California, is they're exempt from a lot of these goofy laws that we have to deal with. And so it doesn't impact them. When they go into a gun shop, they can buy whatever they want to buy.
Yep.
And, so a lot of times you would think that they would know and they'd be aware, but they're really not.
Yep. They don't care. It doesn't affect me. Why should I care?
Yeah. I was really surprised to find that out, though, or discover that.
I know a guy. I'm not gonna name him, but I know a guy who retired from a local police department, big into guns. Big gun guy. It just as gun guy as all of us, or maybe even more so. And he said, yeah, it's funny. He said, I got into, went to the academy and, got assigned to my first partner. I started talking to guys. I'm like, hey, this is cool. We get to carry a gun, and here's my gun. What's your gun? And he said, none of them were into it. They were like, oh, I don't know, whatever they issued me. I don't even know. And he's like, what? This is part of the reason I'm a cop, is because we get to
carry a gun.
Yeah. So it really is. But the amount of vetting that we do, is crucial. It's important, and these other counties are following suit, and they're doing the right thing.
And I have to say, when you vet a politician and they don't pass the mustard, nobody's more brutal.
Well,
I'm serious as a heart attack. I would hate to be a politician and having you vet me if I didn't believe in the Second Amendment rights.
I got to tell you, I know too many people who think that politicians are their friends.
Oh,
and there are a lot of good politicians out there, but you got to check the personal relationship at the door. They're not there to be your friends. You're not there to be their friend.
There's only a few that I can think of. They've been on this show.
You have to look at it like a job interview.
Yeah.
If
good way to look at it.
If I show up to get a job from you, are we friends? No. You got to get to the heart of the matter. Is this person going to be able to perform that job or not?
Right.
And if they're not, get out of here.
Yeah, let me get somebody else. No,
you're wasting my time.
You're absolutely right.
So
But some politicians like to come across being your friend.
Well,
they want to be your friend. So
not just me, but yeah, in general.
No, I'm just saying in general.
So one thing I told my wife, I said, one thing I've discovered is, this is years ago, I said, one thing I discovered is, if there's a politician in the room with 100 people and 99 love him or her, and one person doesn't like that politician, sits there in the corner with their arms crossed over, guess who that politician's going to spend all their time with?
That guy.
That one person.
Trying to convince him.
The other 99 are in his or her pocket. It's that one person.
Which is unfortunate, because you need to treat everybody equal.
It is, but you know what? Be that one person.
You'll get free lunch. You'll get free drinks. All right, folks. Hey, we're going to go ahead and take a quick break. Not because we want to, but because we have to. On FM 96.1, AM 1170.
The Answer.
Folks, welcome back. You're listening to Gun Sports Radio, FM 96.1, AM 1170.
The Answer.
Hey, do you need to take a CCW class for your San Diego CCW? Well, you want one in Arizona, Florida, or even a multi-state CCW? Well, just visit ccwusa.com. Piece of cake. CCW USA offers small class sizes and expert instructions to fit your schedule and your wallet. 3 classes every month. 2 weekend classes, all starting at 8 a.m. Classes fill up quickly. Go book now. Private lessons are available as well. Great dates and times to meet your busy schedule. Check their website for details on how to apply for your San Diego or other multi-state CCW at ccwusa.com. That's ccwusa.com. Hey, folks, have you been to A.O. Sword Firearms in El Cajon yet? Well, you got to get over there. They've got the widest selection of guns in San Diego County, with over 600 unique guns in stock, including hundreds of used guns. Go see their full-service experienced gunsmith. They can do everything from mild repairs to full custom firearms. A.O. Sword Firearms store is located in 929 East Main Street in El Cajon. Go to their website at aosword.com or call 619-749-4867. Build, buy, or repair. A.O. Sword Firearms is your go-to place for all things firearms. That's aosword.com or give them a call, 619-749-4867. And make sure you tell them you heard it right here on Gun Sports Radio. All right, Michael, what do you got for us?
Is Dave's not calling in?
No.
What happened to that guy?
He's online.
Oh, he is online.
Yeah.
Speaking of A.O.
I was going to start crying.
Well, I asked.
Hey.
Listen to him whimpering in the corner. How you doing, buddy?
Good. I did cut it down to the wire, though, man. I just had a 20-minute trip home from the gun range take 40 minutes. It was
Hate that.
Where?
you know what?
Lemon Grove? Is that where you were?
Yeah, I was up at Alpine at Lemon Grove Rod and Gun Club. Fantastic day today. I was up there since just after lunch with 9 new shooters, showing them some handgun and some tactical shotgun, and they loved the afternoon. They had a great time, and
Fantastic.
that's really near and dear to my heart. 4 kids, so they had a great time.
Oh wow, that's even better. So were you able to beat the kids?
No, I'm such a good teacher that they quickly surpassed me. I don't know what my line is there.
I don't know what your line is there either, but that's a good one. So what do you got for us today, sir?
I'm so discombobulated from rushing to get here. I don't have much for you. I just kind of wanted to continue the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure that everybody is aware of this, but I am the only federal firearms dealer that I know of in California who is also a elected politician. I served as the president of the La Mesa Spring Valley School District for a term. Would have run again, and I'm certain I would have won by a wide margin because of a lot of specifically gun rights publicity that I'd been given by the opposition, and we had strong support. But I moved out of the district. I moved to El Cajon, and of course, you got to for school board, you got to live in the district that you're representing.
Right. Right.
I wasn't able to run again, but I bring it up because I tell you, maybe not a counterpoint, but the other side of the same coin that Michael was mentioning. As a politician, a lot of people worry about, I have my positions and how I feel on issues, but maybe if I'm too honest about those things, maybe people won't like me, or maybe not enough people will like me to get elected again or reelected. And to that, I say, be who you are, be true to your values and your morals, and I hope the Constitution, and let the people carry you into office if you're fit to represent them with those values that you have. But man, you got to be
preach it.
If you're
I like this.
If you're going to be wishy-washy, if you're not going to stand up, especially under pressure, especially under the directed, specific pressure that people will bring, bad-mouthing you in the media, coming to your board meetings and saying, you're an evil person, and lying right in front of you about you. And because of decorum or propriety or whatever, you can't defend yourself. You can't call out their bold-faced lies. If you can't stand the pressure and still stay true to what you believe, don't be in politics. Don't do that.
Amen. Awesome. Well put. That's why I like you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. And,
there's some other reasons, but that's one of the big reasons.
Thanks. And even though I was a politician, we can still be friends.
I heard I like. There's a phrase I like, David. I want to see what you think. Is people say, hey, if you're walking down the street, if you're on the left side, you're safe. If you're on the right side, you're safe. But if you walk down the center, you get squished. And I don't necessarily mean left and right side of the political spectrum, but I think what that's saying is, if you try to straddle the fence, if you try to kind of please both sides, you get smacked. But if you pick a side and go, hey, this is what I believe in, you're gonna get the support you need.
Absolutely right. I 100% agree with that. There's a wonderful quote by the illustrious Mr. Miyagi, if I remember correctly.
What did he say? Is that where I got that? That quote's from Miyagi, brother. Oh my gosh, that's humiliating.
You just ruined his day. I want you to know.
I just quoted Miyagi.
Now for quoting the wisdom of Mr. Miyagi.
My whole political, platform is based on the teachings of Mr. Miyagi.
Yes, and you do well, sir.
You couldn't go half wrong on that because you're sticking up against the evil Cobra Kai and speaking the word.
They were misunderstood
of what was it? The Montgomery Wards or the Sears belt?
Yeah.
What kind of belt do you have? $5.99 Sears.
Yeah. Are you a black belt? No, Sears $5.99. Yeah,
it's like all of your knowledge of classical music coming from Warner Brothers.
Yeah. Oh, this is getting deep.
Were you guys talking about the founding fathers earlier on the show?
Yes.
Something I brought up to Lance when he mentioned that on the lineup is today I have seen interpretations saying that, well, that was meant for hunting, but no, of course it wasn't. And I don't want to retread ground that you've already gone over, but or they say, well, it was really for personal defense or self-defense or only for use in a militia, but definitely not weapons of war, definitely not weapons of mass destruction. And I really want to set that straight. In the period immediately after our independence and all the way through the Civil War, as a matter of fact, and I don't know when exactly this stopped, but I can tell you it was in existence at the beginning, in the Founding Fathers period. Merchant vessel owners, people who owned sailing ships and boats, they were not just allowed to, but all but mandatorily encouraged to own cannons for the defense of their boats out on the seas, and so anyone could own a cannon. And in 18th century military and warfare, that was the weapon of mass destruction. That was the thing that you could load with supersized buckshot, nails and scrap and shot. And take out an entire swath of hundreds of people in the enemy's battle line. Those were the weapons of mass destruction of their time, and they were and individuals, private citizens, were expected to own them and outfit them for their own defense. Same goes for cavalry. People were expected to maintain their own ability to muster cavalry, and cavalry. What is the modern equivalent of that? Tanks.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, if people really wanted to get educated on that and just really wanted to understand what the Second Amendment is, Michael recommended a great book, which I'm about a quarter of the way into. It's the Founders' Second Amendment. Is that what that was?
Yeah. Yep.
And
Stephen
Holcomb. Yeah, something like that. And it was just, it's the guy's looking at, he reviews just different documentation, articles and letters and things like that between the actual founders and the people of that time. So you get a real feel for what they were thinking when they created all that stuff. And it's very enlightening. The stuff you hear about it now is just ridiculous. It's a shame.
That's because they've never read it.
Good stuff in there.
Hey, I have a gunsmith question. We got a couple of minutes. Can I ask you a gunsmithing question?
Absolutely.
So I've noticed that there are certain parts that you can't, like I couldn't order from like Brownells or Midway or even directly from the manufacturer unless I proved to them I'm a certified gunsmith. Can you explain that? Like why do they do that, or what are the limits? What can you tell us about that?
Sure. So there are. I'm going to put this in relatable terms. Glocks are a fantastic tinker toy gun, just like AR-15s. And what I mean by that is they are mass-produced with a fairly wide tolerance, and you can essentially drop in most aftermarket parts, and they're going to run. Everything's has a broad enough tolerance. It's not tightly hand fit, so that you can just replace your part and put something else in there. And if you like it, great. If you don't, you pull it back out and put something else on there. A gun like a 1911 is for the most part a hand fit gun. So you cannot just take, for example, a Wilson Combat thumb safety and stick that in the gun. As a matter of fact, it probably won't even physically insert into the gun because it has to be very precisely cut at multiple angles and multiple depths Same thing for a grip safety on the 1911. The trigger, all of the ignition group requires hand fitment and tuning. Otherwise, not only will it not run, but generally it won't even go into the gun. And so any piece like that requires precision fitment is generally restricted by the manufacturer as a gunsmith fit only part.
Interesting. I'm trying to remember what this was. I think it was from a Mossberg 500. They have the trigger group. They have like a metal one and they have a plastic one. I think I was trying to upgrade to a metal one, and I think they said, "Nope, got to go through a gunsmith." They wouldn't send it to me.
That is the most common one that we see. In that case, we generally do not have to hand fit that. I believe that particular piece is more of a liability concern, that they don't want those trigger groups out there in for liability, perceived or real, to be dropped in by the end user.
Gotcha. Interesting.
All right, buddy. Hey, it's always good having you on. Now you can go sit down and relax and get ready for American Idol.
Good stuff.
Right here.
Thank you very much, guys.
You're the best, buddy. A.O. Sword, folks. Get over there and check that man out on FM 96.1, AM 1170.
The Answer.
Folks, welcome back. Gun Sports Radio. Can you believe 2 hours is almost over?
Yeah.
Man. But don't worry. You can go to gunsportsradio.com and listen to any shows we've aired in case you missed this one. California's assault weapon laws makes it almost impossible to own an AR pattern rifle. What's the solution? Cali Key converts any mil-spec direct impingement AR platform rifle into a straight pull bolt action rifle so it can have all the features without being considered an assault weapon. It's a true drop-in solution, no milling, no aesthetic modifications, and no turning off your gas system. Keep your entire AR collection intact at a price you can afford. Cali Key. Check out Cali Key at calikey.com. That's calikey.com. Self-defense and emergencies can happen to anyone, and unfortunately, the justice system may not be on your side. While you protect your family and property, U.S. Law Shield is here to defend you 24/7, 365 days a year, with a comprehensive self-defense coverage at affordable price. Bad guys don't take the day off, and neither does U.S. Law Shield. What's your plan after you defend yourself or your family? Consider a plan from U.S. Law Shield. Check them out today at uslawshield.com. That's uslawshield.com. Hey, home mortgage interest rates are dropping like crazy, and you need to check them out. Looking to buy, sell, or refi, or maybe reverse mortgage? Well, you need a mortgage guy you can trust. Chris Wiley is our recommendation at PRMI Mortgage. For nearly 25 years, Chris has been helping local San Diegans with all their mortgage needs. Call Chris at 619-722-1303 or go to primeres.com/Alpine. All right. Sam the Gunman, are you there, my friend? What's kicking, buddy?
Well, not a whole lot yet, but tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Eastern Time, HB 961, our assault weapons ban, goes up on the floor in the state Senate.
Yeah, Merry Christmas. How about that?
Yeah, well, we're reaping what the electorate sowed this past November.
So what do you get any feedback? What's you hearing anything? You work at a gun shop too, so are people coming in and hand wringing, or what's going on?
Well, really the most disheartening thing, other than what I've been hearing so far, the usual stuff, is that people come in having not read the bill and wanting to have an intelligent conversation about it. And I'm all for informing people, but it gets a little bit frustrating when people don't actually know what the verbiage of the bill is.
Yeah. Boy, Joe, does that sound familiar at all?
Yeah, welcome to activism.
Yeah, you might as well. Honestly, Sam, I would, and I've actually done this, I would just print up like 4 bullet points and just start carrying it around with you, man. Just here. Here.
I sure would like to, but I've actually been seriously considering putting it on a whiteboard because this thing has changed so many times already.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing. A lot of people ask me about, hey, what's going on with this law, that law? I honestly, in California, I don't start paying attention to the details until somewhere around September, October, because they really do. They move them around a lot, and suddenly it's this, and next thing you know, it's that, and
it's like you got to check your stock market, your fantasy sports or whatever, check the updates on the anti-gun bills.
Exactly.
All that good stuff.
Yeah, and what's bad about that is you'll discover when they start doing this stuff, like it is out here, it's like one misstep, and now you've committed a crime, or you've done this, or you've done that, and you didn't even know the thing changed.
Oh, definitely. And
But what they should be doing is not coming to the gun shop and asking you or, having some discussion about the bill. They should be out there supporting a candidate who's going to run against whoever, and undo all this stuff. I mean, knowing about a bill is not activism. So, ask them, what are you doing to reverse this? Not, I don't want you to understand the bill. I want you to reverse it, Anyway, all right. I'm off my soapbox. You ready for your trivia question?
Yeah, let's have it.
All right, my friend. Every week we have a segment called Stump My Nephew, where we ask my nephew, Sam, a question. And if we use your question, you get a T-shirt. If you stump him, you get a hat along with that T-shirt. Yeah, very nice. He is very, very rarely stumped, and I don't know. I don't know. This is an interesting question. I'm not even sure about tomorrow's President's Day, right? So this question is vaguely related. It's firearms related, and it's presidentially related, and I'm not quite sure it's in the best of taste, but here we go. Oh. Joanne from San Marcos writes in. She wants to know what firearm was used by John Wilkes Booth.
I don't know the make. I know it was a Derringer of some sort.
What caliber?
I'm not sure. I would guess 36 because that was a pretty common caliber at the time, but I really can't say.
Well, it was a Derringer. You're absolutely right, but it was a 44 caliber Derringer, believe it or not.
In my second guess, probably.
Which sounds amazing because you think of Derringers as these little tiny things, right?
That would hurt.
Yeah, but it actually, back then, he was making standard-sized pistols. Henry Derringer was. So, yeah, unfortunately, John Wilkes Booth used a Henry Derringer in 44 caliber to do a horrible, heinous act against probably our best American president, or at least top two. Side note, one of the many people, you probably don't know this, Sam, but one of the many people that were, they went around after the president was assassinated and they just started grabbing people and said, you're in on it. You're in on it. So there was a guy that worked at Ford's Theater that he was actually like a maintenance guy.
The janitor.
Yeah, like the janitor. And they grabbed this guy and said, you're in on it. In fact, one of the people that was punished was a guy, his last name was Mudd. He was a doctor. And John Wilkes Booth, was injured and stopped, and got help from this doctor, and Dr. Mudd patched him up, and that's why they now say, hey, you're as good as your name's sure. Mudd now, because
didn't he break a leg or something?
Broke a leg, Yeah. But one of the guys, Edmund Spangler, who you are related to, Sam. Edward Ned Spangler was he was basically the maintenance guy at Ford's Theater, and he was one of the people that got called up into this. And he's originally from Pennsylvania, and if you go to Pennsylvania, there are a lot of references to the Spangler family, and you are distantly related to Edmund Spangler. Went by Ned. So there you go. There's your trivia for
There's your trivia.
Good to know.
All right, thanks.
23andMe.
Yeah, congratulations. You're related to a guy who got hanged for assassinating a president.
And he really didn't do it.
He didn't do it. He really didn't have anything to do with it.
Well, I've lost a lot of people on both family trees before their times, but that was many decades ago, so whatever.
All right. So how's work? How's the atmosphere?
I mean, work is okay insofar as I can say that the day before the most restrictive gun law this state has ever seen goes out on the floor. So I frankly, I don't even know if I'll have a job in a few months, but we'll see. I'll play it by ear.
Wow. Well, you can always come out here and work with us.
I'll take a rain check on that.
Well, you don't want to come to California?
I'd rather stay and fight.
There. Oh, I love the way you think. Same here. That's the way to do it. All right, buddy. Well, thanks a million for calling in, and let's rip them up next week.
There you go.
I got half of that one.
We're giving you partial credit.
Yes, you did. Oh, absolutely.
Partial credit. We're going to give Joanne from San Marcos a T-shirt.
Half a shirt.
Yeah, and half a hat. We'll give her the hat, but we're keeping the bill.
Yeah, keep the bill. That way she can wear it any way she wants.
No, it's like a beanie.
That's a beanie.
I cut it in half.
There you go. Thanks, buddy. Say hi to the family.
Well, they're right here, so you just did.
There you go. All right. All right, folks. We're getting close to the end, and before we do that, I always like to thank all our sponsors. Firearms Legal Protection. Can't do it without them. San Diego County gun owners. One of the reasons we do what we do. You need to join SDCGO.org. $10. Do it. I'll loan you the money. CCW USA at CCWUSA.com. U.S. Law Shield at USLawShield.com. Cali Key, KALIKEY.com. Prima Mortgage, PRIMERES, PrimeRes.com/Alpine.com.
That's Chris Wiley.
Yes, indeedy. Gatsky, Dillon, and Balance, LLP. CAFirearmsLaw.com. The Gun Range San Diego, thegunrangesandiego.com. A.O. Sword Firearms Store at aosword.com. And I can't thank Lance, Michael, Joe, and Sam, and for sure Brendan Thomas, our board op, for all the support and all the help. We have a great time doing it. Probably one of the fastest 2 hours in radio you're ever going to see. And if you missed a show or you want to share a show with a friend, go to gunsportsradio.com. All our podcasts are there. All our up-to-dates there. And definitely go check out Joe Drammissi's blog over at SDCGO.org. He does it weekly. If you don't read it, you'll hurt his feelings, and you don't want him to be upset with you. And don't forget the gun prom's coming up May 16th, I think.
Yeah, that's when it is. And who's our guest next week? You have
next week we're having
somebody.
You just stumped me.
I just stumped
you don't get a hat.
We got a really amazing guest next week.
Do you remember who it is?
I don't remember offhand either.
Where's the spreadsheet when you need it?
The spreadsheet.
And FM 96.1, AM 1170.
The Answer.
This program is sponsored by Dave Stahl.